This is Suhail from the Livepeer, and in this workshop we will be covering what is Livepeer, who can use Livepeer, what problem does it solve, and finally how to integrate Livepeer into your application. Approximately 80% of the internet traffic is accounted by the video. That means the large majority of the data transmitted and received over the internet is in the form of video content, such as streaming videos, online video calls, and video sharing on the social medias. However, this process is very expensive. The main factor is the amount of data and bandwidth required to transmit and receive high quality and transcoded videos requires a specialized technology and infrastructure, such as powerful servers, high-speed networking equipment. And furthermore, video streaming and transcoding can be resource-intensive process, which can increase the cost of hosting and delivering the video content. For example, transcoding a video from one format to another requires lots of computing power, storage, which can drive up the costs of the hosting and also delivering the network. And for this, the solution is Livepeer. Livepeer is a decentralized video streaming platform that uses blockchain technology to enable anyone to easily and affordably stream live video to a global audience. It is built for the developer and it aims to increase the reliability of the live and on-demand video streaming while reducing the infrastructure cost by up to 50 times. To easily interact with Livepeer, you can use Livepeer Residual, which is an open source dashboard for interacting with Livepeer network, creating and managing API keys, live streams, and video assets from an easy-to-use dashboard. And yeah, that's about the Livepeer, and now we'll be integrating Livepeer into a sample application. So in this workshop, we will be using Livepeer.js, which is the JavaScript key for Livepeer. It makes building with Livepeer very easy. If your project is not made with the React framework, you can easily use the Livepeer API, the REST API. It can be used on any language or framework you want. And yeah. So now for Livepeer.js, the first thing you need to set up a Next.js application, which we'll be doing now, and then installing the library. So you can open up the terminal and then go to the directory which you want to create the application. In my case, I'm going to desktop. And here we can create npx create a next application Livepeer app. And this will create the Next.js application. If we don't want with TypeScript and we want with ESLint, until the Next.js application is completed, you want to also go to Livepeer Studio to create an account and get an API key. And yeah, once you come here, you should see a sign up button here. You can go ahead and sign up with your email and password. At the 1000 transcoding minutes is completely free, so you don't need to pay for the first 1000 minutes. But once you come here, you will see the dashboard. Then you can go to developers here and click on create an API key and give the API key a name. In my case, it's going to be FVM workshop. You can also allow codes if you want, but it is not necessary if you're not using it on your front end. Once you have it, you can grab this API key, save it some places because you will need this later. Now coming back here, the Next.js application is installed, and now we can go to the Next.js directory, that is Livepeer app, and install Livepeer package. Here we can also open the application into VS Code, but you can use any other VS Code editor that you prefer. Yep, the Livepeer package is now installed, and so the basic would be to follow the Livepeer guide. And from here, you have everything on how to set up in your Next.js application. And the first thing that you'd want to do is initiate a client. So here in the pages, and then inside of app.js, we can create const client is equals to create a React client. And finally, you need to put your Studio API key here. You also need to import React client and a Studio provider, and also Livepeer config. From @Livepeer/React. And at last, we need to wrap our application with the Livepeer config. We can do it like this. And finally, bring this component here. save it. And yeah, that's it. Now the Livepeer is basically integrated into our application, and now we can use Livepeer into our Next.js application. So the first thing that you would want to do is this. Open a terminal and run yarn diff in order to start the Next.js application. And then you can go to localhost 3000. And yeah, this is a sample Next.js application, which we'll be using now to add our Livepeer code into it. So you'd want to clean up this code completely and just have it h1 maybe Livepeer app. Yep, that works. You can also remove these imports from here for now. You can also remove the styling. Oh yeah, we can keep it for now. But yeah, we have the Livepeer app here. So let's go back to the styling. And now in order to test whether the Livepeer is successfully integrated or not, we can just use a use asset to check if everything is successfully integrated or not. Now we can say use asset hook, and here you need to put the asset ID. Once you upload an asset, whether through the API or CDU or also SDK, you would get an asset ID, and then we can use that one to fetch the asset. Here in my case, I want to fetch this asset. This is the ID of it, or even you can use this one. And here we need to put this here. And finally, we can just say console.log asset, or we can just print it here. Let's do it here. JSON.bringify asset. And if you come back to the application, you can see it's printed here. This is the ID of asset, the hash, how it was uploaded, when it was created, and finally the playback URL. So it means that we have successfully integrated Livepeer.js into our application. So now we'll go to on how you can upload a video to the Livepeer. And for that, we would be using use create, which is very similar to use asset and use create asset. So here you can import use create asset from at Livepeer React. And here we can name for our asset, input, type is going to be text, and then placeholder. Enter the name. And here also we can create a few states in order to save the value from the input. We can give it name, set name is equals to user state. Make sure to import user state from React. And here we are going to also have another input, and this is going to have a type file, and it's going to accept the video. And finally, we can also put the on change here, that once the person has selected the video, we can get file and set. Let's create one more here, const video, set video, user set, and here we can say set video file. We also should add an on change here in order to save the value of the input to the state. Once it is done, it should look like this. For now, we are not going to focus much on from the styling here. A simple styling should work. Margin left 10. And finally here we need to add a button that would be create asset. That should work. And here we can say on click, handle upload. And here we can come here and create a new function const handle upload. Zoom down a little bit. And yeah, that's it. We have declared a few states here for name and for the file, a function that would be used to handle the media upload, and finally 2 input components and 1 button. For now, we can console.log both the name and video to see if both of them is saved successfully. And once we have that one, we would be using use create asset. So here I'm going to type it something and choose a video file, click on open and create asset. You can see we have both the name and file, which means it's working fine. And now we have to use the use create asset. we can add it here and say const is equals to use create asset. And inside of use create asset, we can pass the video. So we can say if there's a video, we would want to pass sources. It should be in a form of array. And you can also upload multiple videos if you want. In our case, we just want to upload one video. So we can say name is going to be the name. And finally, file is equals to video. And if name video is not there, here we can just render null. And inside of here, we can add create asset. We can get the data from it once the asset is uploaded. We can also get a status. We can get a progress. And finally, error, if there's any. And finally, now on the handle upload, we can call the create asset function. Now let's refresh this page. Let's give it the name, for example, test video. Click on choose file, upload the video which you want, and then click on create asset. And now this should create an asset for us. Now let's come back to the Livepeer Studio, go to asset. You can see this is a test video, which the video is currently processing, but it means that the video is now uploaded to the Livepeer. And yeah, that is how you would want to upload a video to the Livepeer. And in the Livepeer.js documentation, you can also go through different examples with different hooks, such as use assets, metrics, use update asset, and lots of different options. And yeah, that was the example of how you want to upload the video to the Livepeer. And we just have one more example on how you can play a video that's already stored into IPFS using Livepeer Player. So Livepeer Player provides easy to use component to display both video and audio. It's going to be very easy. So let's first remove all of the code which we have already here. But yeah, this is the code which you want to use for uploading the video which we have seen here. And I think you can see the video is also now uploaded and it can be playable. The video which I've uploaded is a very bad quality because I just wanted to upload it very faster, but you can upload anything you want. This was just an example video. Yeah, now in order to use the player, we can just remove this old code here and just add a div tag. And inside of this, you can add player and this player would be imported from @livepeer/react. And now in this player, you can play an asset which is already stored on Livepeer Studio. You can play an IPFS hash. You can play from an Arweave transaction hash and from other places. So in this example, maybe we have this video. We can play it using the playback ID. So here we can just give it a playback ID and then put the playback ID here. We can also give it some stylings, names, theme, etc. But for now, we can ignore that one. So let's come back here. And now you can see we have the video player. And if we click on play, it should now play the cat video, which we see here. And yeah, it played. Now just to make it, let's make it a little bit small. So we can say style, width to be probably 70%. And yeah, that's fine. And this is the Livepeer player. Now the asset which you are currently playing is already stored to the Livepeer Studio. But if you want, you can also pass here IPFS hash, and that should also work. For example, it will be IPFS ... and here you would want to put the IPFS hash. It does not depend whether your video stored on the IPFS or like W3 storage or any other places. It would automatically play it. For example, if you go to the storage, and here we have a few videos that are stored in both IPFS and Arweave. For example, this is the video. I can just copy the IPFS hash here and come back to our application and put the hash here. Save it. And now if we come here, basically the video should play. And yeah, let's play it. And yep, you can see the video gets played. And you can also play. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. But yeah, this is a pre-recorded workshop. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to DM me on Discord or join us the Livepeer Discord. You can chat on the studio support.